examining the so-called two-year legal plan. Two-year, our parliament made this code. It was in 1948 till 1950. The provisions of this family code, since its preparation as well as during codification works, had the primary objective, and this was transformation of the originally capitalist society into the socialist one. The new family law was to become one of means for achieving the above-mentioned transformation in the period of people's democracy. A family, originally bourgeois, by its nature, by its mission and quality, was to be converted into socialist one, socialist family, where fundamental difference was to be a new ideologically conditioned relationship to property and to the freedom of individuals entering into marriage. Criticism of the original bourgeois family connected with the capitalist private property, which served only to the property benefits and put its material interest against the interest of the society, was used as a cardinal argument in the process of the Act on Family Law development. The new family law wanted to create a diametrically different, new, progressive, socialist family based on a voluntary union of man and woman, established as a free act and deed, based on their personal affection and emotional relationship, not based on property. Modern ideology, in the spirit of the Marxist theory, was rejecting the economic role of marriage and was emphasizing the emotional plane, and in particular the role of family in raising children into safe and aware citizens of the desired new and higher form of the state. An important factor at the background of the proposed transformation of the family was the pro-population policy, reflecting widespread losses among the population caused by World War. Missing or insufficient property background was not to be an obstacle for the future formation and development of the family. The family support by the society was expected, especially in the form of wage raising, housing constructions, and state subsidies for newly weds. Suitable examples of negative population development in capitalist countries caused by crisis of the capitalist system, unemployment, rising of the average age of those entering into marriage, etc., etc., promoted the idea that building of socialism will give working people the existential security, and it will be a prerequisite for a happy family life. One of the most serious ideological and as well as practical implications of the Act on Family Law, adopted in 1949, was the creation of a legislatively separate and from civil law distinct law sector. While the previous approach of family law was based on the doctrine that this law is a traditional and a stable part of the civil law, it means private law, the new legislation is characterized by an effort to close clear gap between public and private law. Marriage ceased to be a private legal matter. It means its contractual nature was rejected. The state from the very beginning was ensuring its participation, promoting thus public law principles of the possibility of states' interference in private relations and their subordination to the interests of the whole. The experience of the Soviet Union is very interesting here. It was also the influence of Soviet law and the law of others, particularly Slavic people democratic states in that time. These together served as a model and we can say starting point for the content of new standards and for the organization and proceedings of legislative work on the new legal order in Czechoslovakia. To negate the past perception of family relationships, such as relationships based on property basis, and according to the model of the Soviet Union, the regulation of family relationships was set out in a separate law. The previous legal regulation of family relations in Czechoslovakia was blamed for inequality between men and women. And the new Act on Family Law strictly rejected any superiority of men, any superiority of legal or economic subordination of women in marriage and in the family as well in the society, whole society. It introduced the equality of both spouses. Their rights and duties, or their rights and obligations, were purely mutual, equal. And it accentuated the democratic principle in decision-making of the spouses. It was in all family affairs, including household management, financial matters, children upbringing. In indicated intentions, it can be stated that the standards of the Act on Family Law were being prepared ideologically, with a clear intention to reform the society in the spirit of the socialist value system. Therefore, these were standards for a certain purpose, standards teleological. Marriage was strongly favored as a way of starting a family, not only socially, but particularly legally. Some entitlements, including social, were associated exclusively with wedlock, with marriage. Marriage was thus to become a means for implementations of young people's efforts for emancipation. The state support in the form of marriage loans, allocation of flats, or different benefits facilitating the creation of one's own living background, household, etc. I think it is unquestionable that legal institutes and values brought by this Act on Family 1949 became the basis of the Czechoslovak family law, and its values prevail until now. Although the mentioned values come from the period of building of socialism, and modern man is tempted to negate them. I think rather critically or hypercritically. In the sphere of family law, these values endure. They were tried, they were tested, and they preserved their topicality. They are of top quality till now. It is remarkable that during such a relatively short period of time, 2 years legal plan, when also space for the broader professionals and general discussion was created, that this is such a good codification work at all. From the given point of view, the Act on Family Law 1949 in our history, Czechoslovak history, means the first code of our Czechoslovak family law, can be perceived very, very positively as a certain value pillar of family law. In general, in the development of law on our territory of Slovakia, as well as on territory of the contemporary Czech Republic. So this is the main result of this act. Thank you for your attention. Спасибо. If you would like to ask something, please.
I have a question related to the first part of your lecture back at the opening of the conference. So you said that you have the so-called simple companies, which include. I was really in the end, so I didn't see the speaker. I have very bad. I didn't have my eyes examined. Sorry. Well, is the simple company much different than the limited liability company, with the exception of the charter capital?
You mean simple joint company,
Yes.
the new one? It's similar. Ну, основное дело было в том, что не работал этот уставной капитал. И для этого была принята эта регуляция. Они вообще похожие, чуть вот это простая акционерное общество, это Simple Joint Company, у него чуть, как сказать, чуть more simple structure of inside structure.
But does it have the same flexibility of the charter like the limited liability company?
Yes. No, it's a joint stock company. It's not limited liability company.
Yeah, I understand.
Yes.
Well, I have the question concerning the Czechoslovak family code. So we know that Czechoslovakian family law code was adopted in 1949 after the Second World War and in the framework of the socialism.
Yeah.
So what do you think, why the nowadays Slovakian family law code applied most of the part of the provisions of Czechoslovakian family law code, or the basic ideas of this, the formal code?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Because the principles which were taken in 1949 were so modern and of high quality, equal, brings emancipation. So these are the values which we need in modern society, and they are still actual, highly actual. So this is perfect that after Second World War was made such code prevailing till now. And I think also the European standards in European Union are based on these principles as well.
Thank you.
In Russia, we also have this Soviet-like approach to the family law still, that it is kind of separated from the corpus of private law. So
Yes, it's a totally distinctive branch.
not totally distinctive, but courts still tend not to apply directly rules from the civil code
Yes,
to
that's
family
logical. Yeah.
relations.
Mhm.
But many publicists think that should be changed.
Yes, also in our republic there are some endeavors for recodification, and there are two opinions. One opinion is family law should be a part of civil law, civil codex, and the other one is not to be a part. That it should be like
Distinct
stand
regulation.
alone branch of law. So I see that we have maybe similar problems.
Similar challenges.
Yes, we will see.